Auspicious Wellness is immersed in B2B sales and distribution of natural wellness with the use of a plant-based CBD nutritional supplements. We are a distribution company providing THC-free phytocannabinoid-rich hemp health and wellness, beauty and personal care and pet care CBD products. Our CBD products are considered premium grade and are manufactured in a GMP-certified facility and registered with the FDA. No harsh chemicals. No pesticides, no metals. Gluten-free, non-GMO, vegan-friendly. Organically grown hemp. All products are THC-free. Rigorous testing is done in-house and verified through independent, third-party labs using HPLC analysis. All batches are tested for highest quality and potency, ensuring consistency and purity of terpenes, essential fatty acids, and phytonutrients. Only aligns with the world's leading formulators, scientists, doctors, and experts. To ensure our products are effective, safe and highest quality in the world. Contact us today.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the Veterans Community Hour on Radio Indie. I'm your host, CliffyCliff. It's Friday, March 22nd, 2019, and thank you all for tuning in. The Veterans Community Hour is sponsored by Fireteam Whiskey. Check out fireteamwhiskey.com for some awesome physical fitness and nutrition information. Fireteam Whiskey has their own food products line. They have recipes, keto bars, healthy shakes, and things like that to help you meet your fitness and nutrition goals. Also, the Veterans Community Hour is sponsored by the Chop Shop Indie, located at 3917 East 10th Street, right here on the east side of Indianapolis. The Chop Shop Indie offers veterans discounted haircuts on Tuesdays. So just go in there and ask for Tay, and he will get you together. Show some form of veterans ID to receive your discount. All right, I want to give a special hello to Pastor James Hawkins of Christ Church Apostolic, Pastor Ray Robinson of New Day Restoration Church of God in Christ, and also Pastor Ronald Covington of Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. Thank you all for supporting the veterans community. Ladies and gentlemen, in the studio today we have a fantastic show. As you can see, I have 4 guests on today's show. We have the founders and owners of Auspicious Wellness, a black-owned CBD oil distribution company. And this is a first for the state of Indiana, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
All right. So we have here on the Veterans Community Hour the first black-owned CBD oil distribution company. All right. So I'm very happy to have you guys here. Thank you all for coming to the Veterans Community Hour. Now, I want you all to introduce yourselves to the audience. And first of all, I want to congratulate you on this business venture. And you will be launching this business April 1st, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
All right.
Date.
All right. So congratulations, everyone, for making this vision come to fruition and being the first black-owned CBD oil distribution company in our state. All right. So I want everybody to introduce themselves, and then we're going to get into this great show. All right.
My name is Debbie Smith-Torrance. I am one of the co-owners of Auspicious Wellness, and we've been in wellness for around 6 years. And after really having a passion for the industry and learning and understanding about CBD oil, we felt that it was time for us to launch our own business, and that's why we're here today.
Okay.
Well, my name is Keith Torrance. I'm the Debbie Smith-Torrance better half. So.
And co-owner.
Of Auspicious Wellness.
All right.
Hello, hi, my name is Darlene Arnold, and I am a veteran DAV, and I just love the products, and just glad to be here, and hope you enjoy the show.
All right.
And I am Kevin L. Arnold, and this is my better half, and we are both disabled veterans, and we came across, we've been doing business with Debbie and Keith for a minute now, and I'm a disabled veteran. You know, I got hurt over in Nuremberg, but this product is going to be great for veterans.
All right.
And
all right.
that's it.
Well, let's get this show started. I want to start with you first, Keith. Tell us about why you decided to start your own CBD oil distribution company.
Well, me and my wife, we was in the wellness business long before we came across CBD oil. We was already in the wellness industry. So when the opportunity came for us to look at the CBD industry, the wellness and the CBD oil all went hand in hand, and we really wanted to help people. So we had a passion to help people, so that's how we transitioned from the wellness into the CBD oil industry. Just because we had a passion to help people, and I think that the products that we got now is going to help a whole lot of people. So that's how it all started for us.
Okay, so how long have you guys been specifically dealing with CBD oil, other than the wellness business?
We just been dealing with the CBD oil maybe 6 months now.
6 months.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, recently there was a convention here in Indianapolis, a CBD oil convention, right?
Yes.
Talk to us about some of the things you learned at the convention that you can apply to this brand new business you're starting.
Okay. What we learned at convention is basically you have to really believe in your brand. You have to build your brand, and you need to also you need to be on top of your business, point blank. And you have to have preparedness and readiness. You need to understand what's coming out in the industry, what's new. You need to understand the endocannabinoid system. You need to understand what CBD really is, the cannabidiol, what it really is, what the benefits are, what roles it is actually playing, what part of the industry is actually wellness, and what part of the industry is actually recreational. And there is a difference. If you can get in and decipher and understand those and start doing your studying, your research, you have to do a lot of research so that you can be up on what you're doing. And so that's what it is.
I think that's very important, Debbie, because we're going to get into this, ladies and gentlemen, but what you just said is so important because people really have to research what's going on. You know, when you go to the pharmacy and you get a prescription from a doctor for a pill, you're really not thinking about what went into it.
That's
you know,
right.
if they say it's a pain pill, you're going to take it for your pain. But with the CBD oil, there's so much junk out there. The research is definitely important. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to all that. We have a fabulous show today. We have an extended version of the Veterans Community Hour today. We have a 2-hour show, so we're going to get into all of that, so stay tuned. But first of all, we're going to meet our guests and talk to them a little bit about what they feel CBD oil is helping them overcome as far as their pain, anxiety, depression, etc., etc. Because CBD oil is a fantastic product, and I'm so happy and proud to have these people in studio today, being the first African American owned distribution company. All right, so next I want to talk to Miss Darlene Arnold, who is a disabled veteran, Army vet, and she's also the chaplain of the NABVETS organization, which is a VSO here in Indianapolis, Chapter 133. All right, so thank you for coming to the show, Darlene, and thank you for your service.
Yes.
All right, so I just wanted to ask you about your service a little bit, where you served, and what your job was, and things like that.
Again, my name is Darlene Arnold, and I was in the U.S. Army in the late 70s. I served over in Baumholder, West Germany, and my MOS was the 76P20, which I worked in the infantry part, and I had a secondary MOS working in the office.
Okay, so what was the 7620?
You worked in infantry supply.
Infantry supply, okay.
I worked in infantry supply.
So you supplied ammunition and...
Well, we requisitioned the parts to other
Parts,
companies,
okay.
because we were in headquarters company.
Okay, all right.
And being overseas, the water system was a lot different from what I was used to, because when I turned on the water, it came out brown, and it ran brown for a couple of minutes. But you had to take a bath, so you let it run, but you took a bath in it. And I noticed after just doing it for a few weeks, I would have scabs come on my skin, on my chest, on my back, on my neck, on my scalp. And I would pick it and say, well, what's going on here? But even trying to pick it and get rid of it, it would bleed. And I've had about 3 or 4 different operations or cutting on my scalp, and I noticed the medicine that they gave me, it did not make things better, it made them worse. Trying different things, and I did it over the years. And some from pharmacy and some from medical doctors, but it did not improve. But I'm just thankful that we found out about CBD, because using one application, I could tell the difference. Even with the skin, just putting it on one application, it doesn't take hours or days to work. It works like right now.
Right. And I want to get into that conversation with you a little more, but first I want to get back to your service.
Yes.
Now, you were in infantry support.
Infantry support.
Can you talk to us a little bit about maybe some of the transitional barriers that you faced when you came back to the States as a civilian?
Yes. Some of the barriers were just trying to find a job in what I wanted to do. But I was thankful that I was always raised to work hard. So I didn't have a car, so I caught the bus early in the morning. I was on my way 7:30 in the morning. And
you still had that military in you to get up and rise.
Because places were calling me that I didn't even apply for, like Naval Avionics used to be off of 21st and Arlington.
Right.
And I didn't even apply. I said, how do you get my name or number? But they already had it. And I just had in my mind I wanted to work for the post office.
Right.
But, I kept pursuing it, because it took them a few months, but I was able to work there for 39 years and retire 39 years.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
quite a
Thank
career.
you. But you know what? I still, again, just trying to get back. And when I came back, I would sleep like 10 or 12 hours, because the time I did that for weeks, because I couldn't get my schedule, my stuff together. But it's the hard work. It's the discipline, but you just have to continue to do what you had to do. But overall, I think I transitioned into it pretty good.
All right. Well, I would say so. A 39-year career, not hopping from job to job, is a very smooth transition. All right. Now, how did you get involved in the CBD oil business?
Well, again, we have friends, Keith and Debbie Torrance, and we had been in business before. And when they told us that we have something, and I knew that the medicine we had been trying over the counter, and I know my husband talk about it in more detail, and he was in severe pain a lot because of his military injury, and I had skin issues and problems sleeping at night. I mean, I'd wake up after a couple hours sleep, and just I had to do something, so I took the melatonin, I took the sleeping stuff, I tried the teas, but this helps you to relax. It calms you. It's like just mellows you out. But it's just good, and I'm just so glad that we're a part of the CBD business and being able to work with them, because it does help. And I know we have much more to offer the veterans, because there's a lot of veterans. I also attend the pain clinic at the VA, and I see a lot of the issues that the other women are having also. And not just the part you can see, but the inside, the female, things that are going on with women, the skin issues, the sleep issues, and this is just a blessing.
All right, so speaking of a blessing, let's talk about some of the ways that you have used CBD oil to help you in your pain situation or whatever.
Yes, sometimes my knees hurt, so I take the water soluble and I'll rub it in my skin, and then I take the pain cream, and like I said, it works right then.
Right, now
And
that
it
is a
goes
blessing.
yes, because if your knees hurt, you ain't gonna walk too far.
Right.
Regardless if they say you to walk 30 minutes, you might walk 30 seconds, but you're not gonna go too far.
Right.
But it's good, and it also helps with digestion. And like I said, I sleep better at night, and I know with my skin, I can put it on, and it don't take minutes, hours to work. I can feel it working right then.
That's an amazing product. Now, being the spouse of a person with chronic pain,
Yes.
how have you seen that affect the use of CBD oil affect that situation?
Well, just this past winter, we were again over at Debbie and Keith, and we had an appointment to go to a home show, and normally he walk up maybe a few minutes, and then he sit down. He walked for a couple of hours just for taking the water soluble in the liquid, mixing it tastes like a little grape taste to it. And he was surprised himself because he said, I've been walking for a while. And I said, yes, and you're not hurting. And it's fantastic. That's that's my word, fantastic.
Right.
Because it does work that well.
Right.
And you know what? It's not just talking the talk. We actually live it.
Right. Right.
Walk the walk.
That's right. Walk the walk.
All right. Now that you guys have this new business venture going,
Yes.
share with us your vision and what do you want to see happen with this business as far as your goals and things like that.
To grow and continue to help other veterans that are in pain. Friendship, is one of the larger churches in the Hallville community, and we have probably 60, 70 members on our sick list. But all of them are not on the sick list. A lot of them are coming to church, and they're in pain, and you can see it. And I did give some to some members, and they're able to tell, well, I can feel a difference.
Right.
So that's part of our goals, to help seniors, to help veterans through our testimonies and just helping them, and to be able also to continue to expand, because they're not the only ones that need help.
Right. The veterans community is a large community.
Yes.
And we really suffer from a lot of ailments, and
Yes.
But we're not the only ones. You're
That's
right.
right.
The whole world could benefit from the use of CBD oil.
Yes, a lot of health benefits.
Yes, it's a lot of health benefits in that. All right, now I want to transition over to Debbie because Debbie is very knowledgeable in CBD oil, and I want her to give a little bit of feedback on some of the common misconceptions and misinformation that's out there about CBD oil. And this business has been a passion for you for a while. Share with us the need you saw to start a CBD oil distribution business. Also, I want you to talk about how important it is to have FDA approval in your manufacturing standards. Ladies and gentlemen, this company has FDA approved manufacturing facilities.
Yes, we do.
Which is very, very important because there's a lot of junk on the market, but Auspicious Wellness has the real thing. So I want you to get into that about why you saw a need for the business, and how important that FDA stamp is.
Okay, so I'm going to use my testimony as to why. Some people do know and some people don't know that I suffer from Graves' disease, and that's the worst kind. It's some people related to Hashimoto's disease, and that's the worst kind and the most aggressive kind for thyroid disorders, okay? And if you're not careful, it can lead to thyroid cancer if it's not checked. And sometimes certain situations may bring on like toxins, and so those toxins can cause your immune system, to just go haywire, and then you end up going into a thyroid storm. So everything shuts down. Your heart shuts down. Your liver, you start going into cardiac arrest. Your liver shuts down. Your kidneys shut down. All your vital organs start shutting down at the same time. So I went into thyroid storm, and I just thought I was going to the hospital, but my husband knew I was in trouble, and I just didn't want to go to the hospital. And I thought that I was going to go in and get a stronger dose of medication, but that is not what happened. The emergency room doctor, after they ran so many tests and did an antibody study and everything, and they came back, and I was laying in the bed, and they said, "Do you know how sick you are?" And I said, "No," but I knew I was sick because I was losing my ability to walk, and I just didn't share it with anyone. And I knew that I was really ill, and so they said, "We need to admit you." So once they admitted me, I had to follow up with them like every 2-3 weeks, because I had to make a decision if I wanted to have surgery or if I wanted to have radiation. I had to do one or two. I didn't have any other choices. So he told me, "Well, you have a little bit of time to decide," because they had to get my body strong enough to be able to take the procedure. So every time I went back, it was like God just kept telling me, "Do not do this." So I wouldn't do it, and I just wouldn't do it. And so so then I started drinking tea, and tea is an epigenetic. And it's another plant-based, that's another show. But anyway, it's plant-based, just so much as this is plant-based, okay? And so little by little, my lab test started to change. But before I was drinking the tea, my lab tests were really, I was way below where I should be. And they would say, "Well, it's really low." And I could see that it was. So I started drinking the tea, and lo and behold, after about 5 or 6 months, I went in to see him. He said to me, my doctor, specialist, and he said to me, "You're no longer a candidate for surgery or for radiation therapy." Now, what made me not do it was because people that were in the waiting room waiting to be seen had done the radiation and it didn't work. People had done the surgery, but they had ballooned up because they had gained so much weight, and then it led to them having diabetes or hypertension. So I said, I don't want to fix one problem and then end up with another problem. So I decided that I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to get into a plant-based diet. I'm going to stop eating meat. And so slowly by surely, I stopped eating meat. And so then I started studying plant-based information, and I went deeper and deeper and deeper, and then I came into CBD. And then once I came into CBD, me and my husband, we sat down, we talked about it. He started watching me. I started watching him. I was losing weight because I was on medication, and it made me gain like 50 or 60 pounds because we had to slow my body down. Okay, so my body was really at a crawl. Okay, so then I started uncovering epigenetics, which is another show. I started uncovering what epigenetics is, the ability to turn your bad genes off. The phenotype is the only thing that changes. The genotype stays in place, and it suppresses and assists over the gene pool. And over time, if you continue this habit, it will change. And so now scientists, way before me, unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know that this was actually even something that existed.
Right.
But because I wanted knowledge and I kept studying and researching, I didn't just wake up and say, I want to get into CBD oil. I've been researching for some years now. And so then my husband saw the changes in me, and I saw the changes in me. And then we went to the doctor, and we saw his doctor. And here recently, after taking CBD and drinking tea every day, here recently, he had been on high blood pressure for 11 years. He is no longer on that medication.
All right, so that right there, ladies and gentlemen, will inspire you to start your own company with the amount of research you do and actually seeing results in your physical fitness, health, well-being, weight loss, things like that. So that's very inspiring. And now that you have started this business, talk about how important it is to have FDA approved manufacturing process.
Okay, so this is our first time out. A con artist took advantage of us, so they pretty much got our money and didn't produce anything that they said they were going to do. Okay, and they gave us products with no labels on them, and we were like, well, where's our label? Where's this? But it was I accept responsibility because we hadn't done the research. Okay, we just, someone came to us and wanted to sit down with us because, you know, we're well known on the internet. We're well known as marketing. We can make anything we want to become a reality in terms of anything that we want to become a reality in terms of technology and artificial intelligence. That's really what we do. And so with our technology company, they contacted us. They wanted to work with us because they knew we knew wellness. We had content all over the internet on wellness, and they wanted to know who we were. And so they got in touch with us. They just really wanted us to help them rather than them really helping us. They just kind of took our money and ran off with it. So then we said, you know what? We're not going to just walk away. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. Okay, shame on me. So we said, okay, we've gone too deep to turn around. So me and my husband, we looked at each other and we said to ourselves that we're going to do this. So we decided that we would seek out companies ourselves. We sought out manufacturers. We wanted to, we worked with them, we spoke with them, we talked to them, met with them in person. And not only that, we also made sure that they were an FDA-approved facility, which is very important. That they had a CO2 extraction clean room so that we could be sure that our products did not have toxins in them. We wanted to be sure we didn't want to get any, because a lot of people say, well, why does the CBD cost so much? Well, let me ask you a question. What's the most important, your health and putting things in your body that don't belong in your body, or something that's FDA approved? You can't have something for nothing. So we decided we didn't mind paying the money that we needed to make sure that we had certificate of authenticity. So the FDA came in, we could produce our certificates. The batches would be on the bottles. That's really important. Right now in the industry, you don't have to have the QR code, but the QR code is just the electronic process of it, but you still have to have the paperwork. So when vendors buy from us, we give them the paperwork so the FDA can trace the batches, and then the FDA traces the batches back to because every batch has to be registered with the FDA. Then the FDA traces the batches back to that manufacturer, and then they say, okay, are you producing a product for Auspicious Wellness? Oh yes, it's one of our vendors. Yes, they are. And so also to be able to have input on what type of products I want to bring to market, what kind of formulations I want to bring to market, because we want to do some things for beard care, we want to do some things for CBD and dreadlocks. We're bringing to market right now. A lot of men are doing beards, so we're going to be, because in the next segment, and when we talk about all the things that CBD can do and works on, and all the different product formulations we have, when we get through, we will have over 100 product formulations to bring to market. Right now we have about 60. So we're going further and further. And so me and my husband, we were saving our money to buy a home, cash. Well, so we were like, well, the house we have is paid for. Let's just make this an investment, and then we can go and buy whatever we want later down the road. So we had to just take money and to be able to take this process, because if once in the second segment and we explain where CBD is actually really going, anybody that has any sense will get into CBD.
All right. Now, when we mentioned the FDA certificates and all that, do you have a copy of that kind of paperwork so that I can show it and people can really get a sense of how credible and legitimate your business is?
This is for one of our products right here. And so the certificate of analysis, this is the third party lab. It has to be third party lab approved. And so then your name will go here, and it tells you all the contents, and then from there you can see if it's a pass, and then here's all your contents, and it lets you know you pass. It'll say what actually is in this. That's why we have to have a CO2 clean room. And so this is a certificate of analysis. So this is what what we give to our vendors that buy from us. So we give this to them. And so that way the FDA can say, okay, this is the batch number. They pick your bottle up. Yep, these are batch numbers. So they pick your bottle up and they make sure the batch numbers are there. They make sure everything matches, and then they just get that batch. This doesn't, just because you produce this doesn't mean anything. What this you have. What is important is that they can trace this to the bottle back to the company, because say for instance if something goes wrong with one of your products, and you know how they say we're recalling this, they recall by batches, and so that's how they recall. And so we have to have the same standards that everyone. We don't have to have these standards. We just went that route.
You chose
because it's coming. It's going to come, because this industry is so new. It's not completely regulated yet. But when it becomes regulated, we don't want to have to change anything. We can just keep on selling on through and keep on producing and keep working with people and be able to sleep good at night to know that we're producing a product. My husband and I, we spent a lot of money doing this, but we're producing a product that we're going to be able to sleep, and there's not going to be a hiccup, and we also fall under the insurance of it all. So that's the most important thing, that we fall under that with the factory. We're covered because we don't even put a label or anything. Our product comes completely finished, labeling, seals, everything. Okay, so when it gets to you, it hasn't been open. It's still sealed. Nothing's been, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have to worry that I'm trying to earn a quick dollar, as opposed to doing it right.
All right. Now, that's great information. Thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, Auspicious Wellness will be distributing the finest CBD oil products that have FDA approved recognition. All right. Now, we're talking about CBD oil. All right. Now I want to get into some of the most common misconceptions about CBD oil. Okay, there are a lot of misconceptions out here. Okay, so I just want anybody in the group, to address some of these misconceptions. Okay, I got about 3 or 4 of them, so I'm sure you've all heard them before as well. All right, the first one is CBD oils are psychoactive. And what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is you can get high off CBD oil.
THC.
Right. So address that in your business, Auspicious Wellness.
Okay, well, this is what we want to, and we're going to go into it deeper in the second part of the segment. Okay, you have the plant itself. Okay, cannabis sativa, that's the plant. Hemp is one part of the plant, and marijuana is another part of the plant. The hemp side of the plant has all the medicinal benefits, to the point we're going to even outline what pharmaceutical companies in the second half are now producing pharmaceuticals in CBD. Okay, the other part of the plant, which is actually the marijuana part, produces the psychoactive part of it.
And that's where you get high.
And so you have receptors in your body, C1, and C1 is the brain. C2 is also the immune system. Okay, and so we look at how those receptors play a role in the body, and these are all studies. These are clinical studies. These are not something that someone made up. And people will get a chance to see once they see the video from the Cannabis Council, because there's a video we brought along.
Yeah, we're going to show a video in the second hour from the Cannabis Council about CBD.
Right. So actually, what happens is that when they process the plant in a CO2 extraction, when they process the hemp has been around for over 3,000 years, actually, but people don't know that. It started actually in Asia, and it actually started in Asia, and then also because Asia is so close to India, they have actually have scientific studies, and they actually have books. There was a tomb, and in this tomb, that when they excavated it, they had in the tomb the clothing were made of hemp, and this was in China. Okay, and these were years and years, and so there's actually books about this. So what people have to do is don't stop listening to what everybody's telling you.
Right.
Because do your own research. Do your own studying. Because guess what? You're saying, I don't want to take that because it has marijuana in it. But what are you going to do when your doctor gives you a script and it has CBD in it?
Right.
Are you going to tell the doctor, I don't want to do it? Okay, so what are you going? If the doctor says you can choose between life or death, you can choose between the quality of life. You can choose between that. You can choose between that. And you can choose between the quality of life of being in pain. You can choose between the quality of life from cancer in the end stages. You can choose between having 50 million seizures in a day like Charlotte did, or it's about the quality of life. And so what will you do then? And today, on the second half, we brought along pharmaceutical companies all over the world that are using CBD, and it's been some of them have studies, second trials, some of them have been passed, some of them are already in distribution. So that's what we look at. We'll get on that one later.
Okay, another misconception is CBD hemp oil is actually marijuana.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not. Marijuana, again, there's two different, there's cannabis sativa. That's the biggest part. There's literally 113 cannabinoids in CBD. And that's all medicinal. The other side of it is the bud, which is actually the marijuana. CBD is its own part of the plant. They grow tall, they have stalks. Marijuana is shorter, okay? So it's two different things, but they come from the same family.
Right.
Okay?
Right. And that's a huge misconception.
Exactly.
Because people will think that anything closely related to marijuana is always going to get you high, or the cannabis plant. But just like other plants God has put on this earth, they have multiple uses. And the discovery of CBD oil from the hemp plant is much more medicinal than people are thinking.
Right.
And it's a great benefit. And also another misconception is CBD products are illegal.
Okay.
No.
You want to talk about that, Kevin?
No.
You want to talk about that?
No. It went in the Farm Bill, right? CBD, once they found out that you could separate THC and CBD, which is the most well-known cannabinoids, right?
Right.
THC is, like what Debbie said earlier, is a psychoactive part of it.
Right. The part that gets
Once
you
they
high.
find that, the part that gets you high.
Right.
Yeah.
When you separate that, it becomes CBD, right? And the product that we have is extracted with CO2. That is the best and the purest form that you can get.
Right. Now, let me stop you right there. I had some questions on social media because I did advertise that these wonderful people were going to be on the show today. And one of the questions was CBD oil can be processed certain ways. And one person wanted to know the difference between water-based CBD oil,
Water soluble.
water soluble, and the oil version. So when you were talking about the water-based and things like that, and the plant-based and stuff like that, that's really important information because the way it's processed is very important to its potency, effectiveness, treating your pain or whatever. And there's a lot of misconceptions about just what it's for, what it's used, how it's processed, and things like that. So I really wanted to make sure that we share with people this information because I got, like I said, I got some feedback from people wondering, if this was some get high stuff or junk because the way it's processed, that CO2 that you were talking about is very, very important.
And the ones that I know about, and I've read a lot of articles, and Debbie and I have both, we do a lot of reading, right, about CBD, right? And there's one thing, the extraction that is the cheap stuff. That's just like going to a gas station,
Right.
right? If you don't go to Shell or you don't go to, the well-known Exxon and whatnot, right? You're getting the good stuff. But you can also go to your neighborhood,
Right. Quickie Mart.
And you're getting the bad stuff. You got a lot of water in that.
Your gas, right.
You don't want to put that in your body, right? Because the ethanol way is the cheap way. The CO2 is the Cadillac Mercedes way.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
No, well, let's go into a little bit deeper. Let's go into the science of it all. We talk about bioavailability, okay? This process is bioavailability. Let me just read this.
Okay.
And then we're going to bring this to a place that everybody can understand.
All right.
And so that's what we're going to do. Okay, well, first of all, the water soluble part of it is where there's three sides to how you can process. And we actually, by us having the CO2 extraction in a 7, and that's in a clean room. Okay, a clean room is that nothing can come in that room. No, you can't wear your clothes. You have to be completely covered. Like if someone was going in for hazmat, it has to look like that. Okay, and the product itself is actually taken in, and then because, let me read this part. The product is actually put into like this boiler. It's all where it's nothing can get in it. It's completely sealed. Okay, and so then we use square inch and space. Yes.
What's that?
Exactly. So we use square inch and space. Then we can get down to how you really make this extraction process. So now let's talk about this. There are many ways of making CBD hemp oil bioavailable. These different methods include liposomes, microemulsions, and nanoemulsions. Nanoemulsions is nanotechnology. Our water soluble is not nanotechnology. We use the most expensive method because that's all I care about.
Okay.
Not that it's expensive, but the safest method.
Right.
And so if you tell somebody, I'm going to give you that Volkswagen over there, or you can have the Cadillac over here, but you got to pay more for the Cadillac for the comfort. I need the comfort of sleeping at night and making sure that consumers are protected when they're using our product.
All right.
So I want to spare no expense on that. It's not about the money. It's about making sure if you're going to do something, you're going to do it right, and you're going to protect people because their lives are at stake. Okay, and so the process of making CBD. Our CBD oil is our water soluble is a hydrophiliac. That is actually, and that's part of hydroponics. And that is exactly the process that me and my husband went with when we decided to do it. Okay. And we actually sat down and talked to many manufacturers, but decided that this was going to be the way to go. Okay. And so the reason why the process of making CBD or hydrophiliac oil is done by changing the molecules. By doing this, it changes the frequency so that the CBD becomes attracted to the water in our body, which in turn increases the bioavailability, increases the effectiveness, efficiency, and the consumption of CBD. This creates water-soluble CBD, which makes it easy to mix with water in our body because it's water-soluble. It increases the bioavailability as well. It reduces waste of CBD entered into the body because if you just take the regular oil and you just take it subliminally under the tongue, where you're only getting maybe up to 35% of that. So if you bought 1,500 milligrams, you're not going to get the whole 1,500 milligrams because our body is made mostly of water. Okay. So it's just going to, it's only so much of it that's going to, subliminally is through the bloodstream. It goes under the tongue. So much of it only is going to get there. Okay? And so this process is different from nanosizing, which is nanotechnology. So some people say, you got that nano? No, we don't do that nano. Okay? It's when the particle size of the molecule is reduced, which also makes the compound more bioavailable for the reason. And this works by making CBD particles so small to the smallest particle known to man. And so it makes it so small that it just takes, like say if I have this oil and I take these particles in this oil and I compress it, and I'm going to get it down to the smallest particle that I can get it to. Okay, well then that's nano technology. But we're not doing the nano technology. What we're doing is the water soluble through the extraction, the CO2 extraction process. And here's how it works. Although it can be costly and requires skill and experience to do correctly, extraction using supercritical, which is what we have, CO2, is a safer and more reliable method for obtaining pure hemp oil. This means that Auspicious Wellness can ensure that only the safest, highest quality products are sold to consumers. Why supercritical CO2 extraction? When we discuss the supercritical CO2 process, we are referring to carbon dioxide that is a fluid state because it's held at its critical temperature and critical pressure, like a pressure cooker. Supercritical CO2 extraction is an important development in commercial extraction due to its low toxicity and minimal environmental impact, because the FDA considers CO2 extraction to be GRAS, or generally regarded as safe for commercial extraction. This method is popular in the food industry. It just wasn't invented in this. It's in tea, it's in coffee, it's in perfume, it's in all those. And so in the coffee industry, supercritical CO2 is already widely accepted as safer than traditional solvents to extract the caffeine from the coffee bean to yield decontaminated coffee. Because it is non-toxic and non-flammable, supercritical CO2 is preferred over chemical solvents like butane, hexane, and acetone, which can linger in the extracted oil if not purged correctly, rendering the oil toxic. And so when we look at a lot of stuff, people are saying mine is cheaper. You don't know where it came from. It could have came from overseas. And they don't have where they have to pass these stringent tests. They don't have to pass all that. And so there's no regulation on this stuff. So what we're saying is that be careful of what you are putting in your body. And if you do get something to one of those comments, it didn't work. Well, where'd you get it from? How much did you pay for it? What was on the bottle? Did it give you anything? Did you know what are the strengths of it? Does it tell you anything on the bottle? Are you able to trace back to make sure where you're buying this from? Can they guarantee that this process is being done with these bottles of oil? Can they guarantee that? Can they prove it? Can they show it to you? Or do they even care?
Now,
basically, how was it extracted?
Okay.
How was it extracted?
Right.
You gotta understand that.
So let me put some more information on it. Because it's non-toxic and it's non-flammable, supercritical CO2 is preferred over chemical solvents. Okay, so CO2 is a turnable solvent, making it versatile and a perfect candidate for the supercritical process. The carbon dioxide is cooled and compressed to upwards of 10,000 psi's. That's pounds per square inch. Okay, so we process by inch. Okay, I know it sounds crazy, but that's science and chemical. A high compression rate. By comparison, the tires on your car pressurized to about 300 psi's. When compressed to these extremes, CO2 becomes supercritical, which simply means that it converts to liquid when placed under extreme pressure. In the supercritical state, the CO2 processes the properties of a liquid and gas at the same time. The CO2 is then heated and passed through the hemp in a closed loop extractor without causing harm to any heat sensitive nutrients like enzymes or vitamins. The results of this process is released recycled CO2 that leaves a highly concentrated, totally pure extract that is more easily digested by the body. The CBD oil that comes through supercritical extraction is a full spectrum cannabinoid product that is transparent with a light color amber.
Okay, now let me ask you this right quick. For people who are interested in trying CBD oil, what types of things should they look for?
What they should look for, first of all, the very first thing that I said to you, where you're buying it from. Do you have a certificate of authenticity on this?
Okay.
It could be on the bottle, because that's going to be happening in the future, where they have to have a QR code on every bottle for the FDA, because the FDA wants to come in and scan. But they can get those batch codes, okay? If you pick up a bottle and it doesn't have no batches on it, and it doesn't have any QR code on it, then you need to walk away.
Okay, so that's a very good point, because some people have tried CBD oil but haven't gotten any results from it. And what you were talking about, the extraction process plays a huge role in their quality,
and also the strength.
The strength,
because so let's just make an analysis. I took 1,500 milligram. I was up for 2 days. I didn't need that because there was nothing wrong with me that I needed it. Arnold took the same 1,500 milligram, but he was in so much pain that it actually helped him with his pain. Okay, so we look at the opioid crisis and all that, which we're going to get into in the next segment, but it depends on what your body needs, what's wrong with you, as to the strength, because we go from 250 milligrams all the way up to 5,000 milligrams.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, this is a very interesting conversation. If you have any questions or comments, we have a phone number you can call in on, area code 317-802-7137. And we also have a Facebook Live chat room going. So if you have any questions or comments, then please feel free to put them in the chat room. Or again, call 317-802-7137. Okay. Now, we have a great show, ladies and gentlemen. I'd love to hear some feedback and responses to this great information. We are learning about CBD oil and what we could use it for to treat our pain or any of our ailments right here on today's edition of the Veterans Community Hour. Now, we're going to take a quick break and come back with some more exciting information. Get your pen and paper out because Miss Torrance is going to educate you on CBD oil, its uses, how it treats various ailments and things like that, and diseases. And also, when we come back, I want Miss Torrance to answer this. Some people don't recognize CBD oil as a, quote, medicine. They only see it as a dietary supplement that is in certain food products, okay? So I want you to educate the skeptics and address us on CBD oil and how it affects the body.
Okay.
Because there are very few products out here on the market that can go in food as well as cure your ailments or heal your ailments or treat your ailments. You can't do that with MSG.
Yeah.
You can eat MSG, but you can't rub MSG on your skin. Okay? So I want you to address the skeptics about the effects of CBD oil on the body. Okay, so stay tuned to the Veterans Community Hour right here on Radio Indie. I'm your man, CliffyCliff. We'll be right back.
Cool.
Enjoy.
This is another M. Fossil production. Fossil Pride.
This is an original instrumental. Soulful music. Enjoy.
This is another M. Fossil production. Fossil Pride.
This is an original instrumental. Soulful music. Enjoy.
This is another M. Fossil production. Fossil Pride.
This is an original instrumental. Soulful music. Enjoy.
how's everybody doing? Welcome to the second hour of this very special edition of the Veterans Community Hour here on Radio Indie. I would like for everyone to know that Radio Indie now has a phone app that you can download. Just check it out in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store and download that Radio Indie app so you can take Radio Indie with you everywhere you go and listen to us anytime. We are going to have great show content as well as play some good old music on our new station. And we would like for you all to support this new station and download that app, all right? And give us some comments and feedback and let us know how you like it. Now, here we are in the second half of the Veterans Community Hour today, and I would love for someone to call in with some questions or comments. The area code is 317. The phone number is 802-7137. We are in the house today with Miss Debbie Torrance, Mr. Keith Torrance, Mr. Kevin Arnold, and Miss Darlene Arnold, who are all founders and owners of a brand new business, Auspicious Wellness, which is the first black-owned CBD oil distribution company in Indiana. Now, these are the owners.
Yes.
Okay. These are
There are agents.
the agents. Okay.
Agents,
So
sales reps.
Sales reps. So
Wellness
I just wanted to clarify that. I got a little excited, but these are the owners and these are the sales agents. But they're all working together to make this thing come to fruition and make this a booming business. All right. Now, before we left, I had posed a couple of questions to you, and I want you to address those, and then we're going to show a video, ladies and gentlemen, about the clinical side of CBD oil from a doctor. Okay, so that's going to be very informative. I want everybody to stick around for that video. Okay, now, Debbie.
Yes, sir.
I want you to speak to us a little bit about how you address the skeptics and the naysayers, and just educate us on the CBD oil and its effectiveness on our body, and also educate us on the perception that CBD oil isn't a medicine, but it's more of a dietary supplement.
Okay. Well, we have a cannabis council. We have doctors that have done. There's so many clinical studies that are out now about CBD oil and scientific trials, and I'm just going to, because people have a misconception and they actually don't know what's going on scientifically in the scientific community and the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry actually encompasses 40% of the CBD industry, and people don't know that. The other 19,
that's a huge number.
19% is the internet, and the rest is some of everybody else. And those are actual numbers, if I may say so. Those are actual numbers. How do we back that up? I'm always a person that's evidence-based. I like evidence, okay? The Brighton Group is the one that was paid through by the cannabis industry to get this information. And so numbers tell the truth. They tell the truth about everything. And so when we did our research and we received information as owners in the industry, and we actually received our information as owners in the industry. This is by the Hemp Business Journal, and this is the source is the Hemp Business Journal, okay, and consumer sales. If I told you that 40%, 452 million U.S. hemp-based CBD products sales channels by 2020, 40% will be encompassed by the pharmaceutical industry, 8% by smoke shops, internet and others direct is 22%, practitioners 3%, dispensaries, no THC 6%, mass market retail 3%, and natural and specialty retail is 18%. And why do we know this to be true? Once I saw these numbers, I actually wanted to get more information that I could bring as validity. And so this is really astounding. 10 pharmaceutical-based drugs based on cannabis. This is crazy. Okay, Sativix, okay? Let me go over these manufacturers. drugs with chemicals taken directly from the marijuana plant. And I'm going to tell you what they're for. Sativix is a manufacturer of GW Pharmaceuticals. They're on the NASDAQ and the GWPH. Their cannabis-related properties, they use mouth sprays whose chemical compound is derived from the cannabis sativa plant. It's a natural extract of the cannabis plant. They use this as suggested medical uses for treatment of neuropathic pain, spasticity in patients with multiple sclerosis, analgesic treatment in adult patients with advanced cancer who experience moderate to severe pain.
Okay, so that right there is clearly indicating that CBD oil can be used as a medicine.
Well, yeah. Let's give the viewers and listeners more information. The approval status. Why? You know what I'm saying? I always tell people stop sleeping and don't get lost in the sauce. That's what I tell people. Stop repeating and saying things that you don't know to be true. Become an advocate of what the truth is. Seek the truth.
Right.
Because knowledge is power.
Right.
But if someone tells you something and you're a busybody, and just because Tom told you, you put it in the ear of Mary, and Mary puts it in the ear of Thomas, then it's just a rumor. It's not true. Okay? So then then from there, your family suffers because they don't know the benefit is there. And that's how the rumors get started.
Right, and that's exactly how these misconceptions
so here we
about
go.
CBD oil
Approval in lunch in the UK, it was approved in lunch in the UK in 2010.
Okay.
This is 2019.
Okay.
How far behind are we? Okay, so let's go to the next company. The next company makes dronabinol and Marinol, manufactured Unimed Pharmaceuticals, a subsidiary of Solvay Pharmaceuticals. Cannabis-related properties, synthetic delta-9, that's tetrahydrocannabinol. Treatment of nausea, vomiting for patient in cancer. Treatment appetite suppressant for AIDS patients. Analgesics to ease neuropathic pain in multiple sclerosis patients. This one also was approved in Canada for AIDS-related anorexia, April 2000. Approved in Denmark for multiple sclerosis, September 2003.
Okay.
That's pretty deep. Here's another one, Nabilone. And the manufacturer is Valiant Pharmaceuticals International. They're publicly traded on VRX and also on the NASDAQ. Their cannabis-related properties, synthetic cannabis, similar to THC, treatment of nausea, vomiting in patients undergoing cancer treatment. Dexabinol, also they're acquired by Abbott Laboratories in 2010. They're on the AB&T and on the NASDAQ as well. They have a synthetic non-psychotropic cannabinoid that blocks MDA receptors and COX-2 cytokinesis and chemokines. Okay, so what we're saying is that this is happening, whether we like it or not, whether people understand it. This is happening, and that's why those numbers say 40% is pharmaceuticals. But what? And I could go on and on because there's 10 of them or so here, but we don't have that type of time. But what we're saying is that basically we want to help people in two different ways. We want to help people to become well and wellness, for optimal wellness. That's what we want, and optimal health. And that's what we want to do. Also, we want to give people the ability to earn income. But if you work with us as an agent, you must be knowledgeable. We have to train you. So we do technology as well. So what we did is we created a technology portal. And a technology portal trains our people by artificial intelligence. We take all our clinical studies and we bring them to life. Okay? And so that's part of what they saw in the introduction video. And we bring them to life. We don't change anything. And so we need to do our part. So when you asked me a question and you said to me, well, is there diversity or whatever? How do people treat you when you go to market? They welcome us because they want this approach. They want more people to stop, not just say smoke shops and recreational. They're looking for people that want to be on their team to help them with the wellness side of CBD oil, to be an advocate in this industry rather than just to sell. It's a difference.
When you said that key term right there, which is why there is a huge misconception about CBD oil, when you said smoke shops and vape shops, that's where a lot of people get confused about CBD oil is getting you high because you're smoking it like it's marijuana. Right? So it's very important to differentiate between the uses of CBD oil. Yes, it can be smoked and vaped, but it doesn't get you high.
No.
Yes, it can be put in your foods and beverages, but you're not going to get high. So when you said that, I just wanted to address the people who have that misconception that when you hear of a vape or smoked CBD oil, you're thinking you're going to get high. That's not it at all. Okay. Now, since you explained that so very thoroughly, we have a video that we want to show you, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to address the clinical side of CBD oil, and we're going to pull that up shortly. Are you ready for that, Laura? All right, ladies and gentlemen, check out this video, and then Debbie's going to come back and explain that to you.
Hello, my name is Dr. David Allen. I'm a retired cardiac surgeon and member of the International Cannabinoid Research Society, ICRS. That means I'm a cannabinoid research scientist. And I'm here to tell you about the discovery of the endocannabinoid system, the ECS, and the significance and how it will change medicine. And we discovered the endocannabinoid system about 30 years ago, and we really didn't understand the significance of its discovery. And so we found out that this is a chemical communication that your body has. It's not electrical, it's chemical, and it's kind of like the hormone systems that people are familiar with. And your body makes these cannabinoids. They're endogenous, so they're endocannabinoids, and they perform some miraculous functions in the body. And we're just learning the significance of these functions. And basically, the endocannabinoid system is responsible for homeostasis. Most people don't understand what that really means, but it's the body's ability to maintain itself and function in the proper environment. And so it's critically important that that doctors in the future understand this control mechanism. And we're finding out that that manipulation of this endocannabinoid system will control diabetes. It controls cancer. It controls whether you can survive a heart attack or stroke. And so this is critically important for doctors to understand this new science. And the discovery of the endocannabinoid system is the single most important medical scientific discovery ever, and will save more lives than the discovery and application of sterile surgical technique. And I'm a heart surgeon saying that. So more people will be saved by manipulation of the endocannabinoid system than are currently saved by surgery.
But recent research has been looking at cannabis and the different cannabinoids. There's over 80 plus cannabinoids discovered in the cannabis plant. The second most dominant one besides THC is cannabidiol or CBD. Okay. And the research now is over 1,200 peer-reviewed journals on CBD. It's probably the most exciting and researched ingredient or substance right now around the world. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have the psychoactive or high that is associated with THC, but it has a tremendous amount of other benefits, including research shows anti-seizure, anti-epileptic, which is why it's gotten a lot of popularity. You do a lot with children with seizure disorders, and they're getting benefits from this plant in a safe, non-toxic way versus all these drugs that typically don't work. Mm-hmm. And there's neuroprotective benefits, so you see a lot with concussions and the NFL. There's a lot of research being done now with chronic traumatic encephalopathy or chronically banging your head a lot. There's anti-anxiety, which is really important. It's the anti-THC of sorts. It calms you down. It helps you manage stress better, which is how I look at it. It's much more as a preventative or daily use substance than just treating disease states. Mm-hmm. And there's immune support. There's it's a huge antioxidant. There's just a tremendous. It's easier sometimes to talk about what it doesn't do than what it does.
Dr. Alan Shackelford is a Harvard-trained physician. He's also among a handful of doctors in Colorado who give prescriptions for medical marijuana. From the moment Charlotte entered his office, he knew she was in trouble. While he was just examining her, she had 2 seizures.
She'd failed everything. There were no more options for her. Everything had been tried, except cannabis.
Here's how scientists think it might work. Marijuana is made up of two ingredients: THC, that's the psychoactive part that makes you high, and CBD, also called cannabidiol. It's the CBD that scientists think modulates electrical and chemical activity to help quiet the excessive activity in the brain that causes seizures.
I've been telling my patients to cut.
Dr. Julie Holland is the editor of the Pot Book, a complete guide to cannabis.
For a long time, the work on cannabis and epilepsy was sort of inconclusive. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. They couldn't quite figure it out. And it's only when they really started separating THC from CBD that they saw, definitively, yes, CBD seems to really stop seizures.
So in the 1930s, they made tinctures. What were they making the tinctures for, and why were they doing these tinctures?
Well, I mean, the medicinal uses of hemp are just numerous. The hemp helps, well, we can talk about the cancer effects of hemp, but it helps with inflammation. It's very anti-inflammatory. It helps with seizures. It's very effective with PTSD for the vets that are coming back that have post-traumatic traumatic stress disorder. Mm-hmm. Very effective at treating that. It's an anti-inflammatory. But then the uses of hemp for cancer, what I've studied, because of my book, Cancer Step Outside the Box, and the number of cancers, there's about a dozen different cancers that have been studied in depth with medicinal marijuana, with hemp. And so the studies, from brain cancer to prostate cancer to pancreatic cancer, uterine cancer, cervical cancer, prostate cancer, it's amazing.
Okay, so what is in hemp that it's this THC, correct?
Well, there's chemicals that are called cannabinoids.
Right.
THC is short for delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol.
I'm glad you said it because I couldn't.
That's the only time I'll get it right. I'm glad I got it right. So that's the one, THC is the one cannabinoid that everyone's familiar with. That's the one that's psychoactive, and that's the one that gets you high if you smoke it.
Okay.
But there's other cannabinoids. One is called CBD, cannabidiol, and it's very medicinally used. There's no psychoactive component of CBD.
So what do? Extract these? They make tinctures, or you can make tea out of?
You can make tea. You can eat it. It's a great superfood. You're into raw. A lot of people use raw hemp in their superfoods.
Well, do you get high off of hemp if you eat it as a superfood?
No, well,
or just the seeds.
You've got to heat the THC to make it become psychoactive. So people that eat the plant, they put in a smoothie. They're super green smoothies.
Right.
You're not going to get high off of that because you didn't superheat it.
But is it then, if you put it in a smoothie like that, is it good prevention to cancer?
It is. It's very well. It's got a perfect ratio of omega-3 to 6 fatty acids. It's got more GLA, gamma-linolenic acid, than any other plant. So it's got some really great fats. You're well aware of the importance of good fats in your diet.
Yeah.
So hemp it's a perfect superfood to eat, but it's also medicinal.
I just never understood why hemp had gotten such a bad rap, and now I understand that it was really politically motivated by somebody who owned basically trees and didn't want to be in competition with the hemp to make paper. And yet throughout the years after that, so many people suffered because of that.
Yeah.
So I guess it's actually a good thing that people are coming around a little bit.
It is. I'm really encouraged about the different legislation in different states that are trying to legalize medicinal hemp, because of the fact that it is so good. It's not just a superfood. It's not just great for industrial uses, as we've mentioned, but it's a really good medicine.
Thank you so much for coming on, Ty. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Carol.
All right, we're back live here on the Veterans Community Hour here at Radio Indy. Thank you all for watching that video. Now, I got a couple of quick questions before we have Debbie explain that video. A person who hit me up on social media wants to know more about your company and the products. Okay. So one of the questions was, where is the hemp grown?
The hemp grown is in the United States. We only do hemp that's grown in the United States, so we have several farms that our manufacturer uses all over the United States, and they're all hemp compliant, FDA approved farms.
Awesome.
All of them.
All right. The next question is, where is it processed?
Our hemp is actually processed at our manufacturing facility, and we don't give that information out, but it's processed in an FDA approved facility.
Right, which we mentioned earlier in the show, how important that was.
Exactly.
All right, the next question was, what is the difference between oil-based and water-based CBD oil? And I think you covered that a little bit, Kevin, when we talked about the CO2 processing, extraction process. Is there any more information you can share about the differences?
Yeah, there is a difference. The actual water soluble is a hydroponic, okay? And so the hydroponics, it actually it's more water based, and it's decompressor. It's pressurized. So with the way that we were explaining to you, it's pressurized to the point that it goes in spaces of inches, and then it produces an oil. Okay, the pressure is so high that it produces an oil. But once we go into the hydroponics of it, the water solubles will actually, the consumption rate of the body, because our body is mostly water, so it's able to mix with the cells of our body on a cellular level. And so we'll get a 90% absorption rate rather than if you do oil, because oil is different. It sits on top of the cells, okay? So, and it has to go through the blood system. So so if you buy 250 milligrams, well, you're not going to consume the whole 250 milligrams because your body has to process it, okay? So if you turn around and do the water soluble, then you're going to get a 90% consumption rate. So say for instance that you bought 1,500 milligrams, you're going to consume everything but 150 milligrams.
Awesome.
Okay.
And that should knock out anything.
Okay, so that like Kevin had some while he was sitting here. We'll make sure you get some as well. So there's different ways that it's processed, and it depends on the product itself. But these are we were talking about the emulsions, and that's the different processes of the CBD oil, from nanotechnology to the hydroponics, and then the oil itself. So those are the different ways. But if you want the most potent form, you get the water. It's more expensive, but
water-based.
Yes, because it's more expensive because, say for instance that you do a 300 milligram and then of oil, of water soluble. Okay, so that's 900 milligrams as opposed to the regular oil. It's a difference, 90%. Okay, because you're not going to consume on the regular oil the whole 300 milligrams. You're probably going to consume 25% of it. Right. So that's the difference. That's the reason why.
Okay, and the final question, and we've already covered this, but I just in case you missed the first hour and you're just now tuning in, people want to know, what is the difference between a hemp plant and a cannabis plant?
Okay, the hemp is the non-psychoactive part of the plant. The marijuana side of the plant. Did you say marijuana or cannabis?
Cannabis plant.
Okay, here we go. Cannabis, marijuana, and hemp both come from the cannabis plant. Is in the cannabis family.
Family, right?
Okay, all right.
Right.
And so what happens is that hemp is the non-psychoactive part of the plant.
Of the cannabis plant.
Exactly, the cannabis sativa plant.
Right.
Okay, and what it does, it gives you the medicinal effects, the benefits, okay, minus the psychoactive part of the plant. It does not get you high, and you cannot overdose on it.
Okay.
It's been studied. And it's also, at the same time, it's not addictive.
Right.
It's not, and there's clinical studies on this. Okay,
Right.
so the other side of the plant, which is the marijuana, which is the psychoactive part of the plant, and it helps you, it can help you with pain, feel less pain, and it also can help you, that's the psychoactive part, you will be high. And so the hemp part, which we for CBD, we relate the two because they're both. And the CBD does not get you high. And because our product has 0% THC in it, we didn't do any products with THC.
Right.
But by law, you can do up to 0.3% THC, but not in all states.
Right.
So because we're shipping to different states and we have agents in different states, we played it safe and we did 0% THC.
Right, so it can cover any state.
Right, it can cover any state. And, we go from 250 milligrams all the way up to 5,000 milligrams to pharmaceutical grade. So if we want to sell to hospitals, we can. If we want to sell to physicians, we can. And from the 1500 to the 5,000 is going to be physician only. We are launching a parallel brand just for physicians, and we're also launching a parallel brand just for the cosmetic side. So we're going to have 3 different brands rolling at one time.
All right, awesome. So I hope that answers your questions, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for your comments and feedback concerning this topic on the Veterans Community Hour. Now, we just got to watch a video, a very informative video, and it was kind of new. It could be considered to be kind of a new kind of thing for the lay person to wrap their mind around and comprehend some of the information that was in the video. So I want to ask you, Debbie, to make it plain
Okay.
what we just saw in that video.
Okay, all right. So the endocannabinoid system, referred to as ECS, okay? And so that's just short for endocannabinoid, okay? And so we have a homeostasis state of being in our body, okay? Just like the Goldilocks thing, Goldilocks and Three Bears. No, it was just right. You know, remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what it does, it makes your whole entire body work together collectively. So if one part of the body is not in sync, like which could be your thyroid, which could be your endocrine system, which could be the vascular system, the heart. Okay, so what CBD is now known to is to help you to bring your homeostasis system in balance. That's what it does. Okay. And it's also been studied in clinical studies that you can have endocannabinoid deficiencies. And when you have endocannabinoid deficiencies, you suffer from things like fibromyalgia, pain, anorexia, depression, irritable bowel syndrome, and it's a whole bunch of things. But CBD can treat fibromyalgia, pain. It needs to be full spectrum. Okay.
And when you say full spectrum, what do you mean?
That means nothing's taken. Nothing is processed it is processed completely in its whole form. You know, like the CO2 extraction. That's full spectrum.
Okay.
That has not been touched.
Okay.
Okay. But when you do isolates like terpenes, that's the isolate. So the vape is the isolate. It's not full spectrum.
Oh. Okay.
So that's the isolate, which we're going to cover in a few minutes, break that down too.
All right. Let's go.
So you have the isolate, you have the full spectrum, then you have the vape. The isolate is for certain things, okay? The full spectrum covers everything. That's the most expensive one, okay? And so it can treat fibromyalgia, pain, anorexia, depression, irritable bowel syndrome, migraines, multiple sclerosis, post-traumatic stress disorder, neuropathy, Huntington's disease, Parkinson's, motion sickness, autism. It can treat a lot of different things. And so, and these are scientific studies that have been released on this. So it's not like we're making it up. And so what we do, and we break it down because you have CBC, CBD, CBDA, CBG, CBD, CBN, THC, THCH, THCV. Those are different cannabinoids within the actual scope of CBD itself. Those, not the CBD, but actually the cannabinoids. Those are different cannabinoids because you have over 113. And these dots right here are the treatment of it. And so anything that's big right here, it's also for pain. So let's break it down by category. Okay. What the medical community has now released scientific studies on, clinical studies. Is good for pain and sleep. Is an analgesics. Is an anti-inflammatory. Is a natural anti-inflammatory. Is a natural anti-insomnia, and is a natural anti-sleep apnea. Is disease specific to diabetes, psoriasis, bone stimulants, like if you have arthritis, anti-proliferatives, immunosupport, anti-ischemic, vasoconstriction. So like when your veins begin to constrict and things like that, you know, and then you can't get the proper blood flow, and then you start to develop vascular diseases. It helps those to not constrict that way. Okay. To open up, to open up the arteries. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's a vasorelaxant. That's what I just covered, opening the arteries. Right. Okay, eating and digesting, a digestive aid, anti-nausea, anti-suppressant, appetite suppressant, antibacterial, antimyocardial, antioxidant, is also neurological, is an antidepressant, anti-anxiety, antipsychotic, antispasmodic, and anti-epileptic. So when people, so now who do we look at for our market of people that we're actually working with? And we even looked at what the CB1 receptors in the brain are, and the CB2 receptors, which is the immune system, and that's the brain, the spinal cord, the cortical region, the cerebellum, the brainstem, the basal ganglia, the olfactory bulb, the thalamus, the hypothalamus, the pituitaries, the thyroid glands, the upper airways, your liver, your adrenal system, your ovaries, your uterus, your prostate, and your testicles. Is good for men's health. It actually really is. And it's good for women's health as well. And also in the CB2 and CB1 receptors, it helps with your eyes, renal pigments, stomach, heart, pancreas, digestive tract, bone, Non-CB1 and non-CB2s are located cells of the blood vessels, and CB2 receptors are located in the cells of the lymphatic and immune system. This is one of the biggest discoveries for science in a very long time. And so that's the reason why that physician was saying that CBD will actually replace the knife. Because what we're saying, we're not trying to treat the diseases, we're trying to keep you from getting the diseases.
Okay, that preventive maintenance
exactly
goes a long way.
That's what we're trying to do. And so who do we work with? We work at wellness conventions, health food stores, CBD and hemp stores, vape shops, hospitals, pharmacies, hospices, cancer treatment centers, oncology, neuropathic medicine, neurology, pain treatment centers, PTSD, opioid clinics, gastroenterology. We work with colleges, because people are taking all kind of stuff just to stay up and study. They really are.
True. That's very true.
And so I want to dispel this myth about also neurology and acupuncture. What I want to do is dispel this myth about vape. Okay, people vape to calm down. That's what vaping is really supposed to be for. So say for instance that you have someone that's suffering a break, or something's happening to them, or they're stressing real bad. It's a natural stimulant to calm you down. It will calm you down.
And remember, there's no THC in these products.
So you're not going to get high.
Right.
It's to calm you down. People are vaping for all the wrong reasons. So that's the reason why the industry is saying we need you in this industry to help us with the wellness side of it.
Right.
And these are all different ethnicities that are speaking to me, along with Caucasians, and accepting of us, because they're saying we need the good guys to come in and help us to make this industry heard in the right way instead of for all the wrong reasons. We need to stay on the wellness side of things to be able to help people for what it was meant to be, because this has been around for years, for thousands of years. This actual plant has been around for thousands of years and it's been documented. So what we're saying, we have everything. So like right now, you were saying, Debbie, on the break, you were like, I need to have some of the 1500. I was like, okay, let me see. He said his finger was hurting. So what we gonna do?
We're doing a live demonstration of how to use Auspicious Wellness's CBD oil products. Just one product. They have several products that Debbie and Keith are going to be displaying and talking about. So stay tuned for that. But right now, I'm going to show everyone how to use CBD oil in their daily regime. I'm going to put some in my water.
So what we want to do is, first of all, we want to look at how crystal clear that this is. Okay, this is crystal clear. You have a lot of stuff on the market that's cloudy. You do not want that. You want crystal clear. This is CO2 extraction. You should be able to look through it. Okay, and this has everything in it it's supposed to have. And so what's happening here is that he's in pain, so I'm just going to drop that right there in his water. And the reason why I'm dropping it in his water, because this is really strong. This is 1,500 milligrams, and this is hydro. So I want to dilute it. I want to dilute it a little bit. So when we shake it up, this is what it looks like. So once it just sits there, it's going to sink completely into the water because it's water soluble. After time, it's just going to turn into it's just going to sink in with the water. Okay, so what he's saying to me is, Debbie, I'm in pain. My finger is hurting. So
this finger right here.
This is our 15. Well, he had a little accident. So
this finger right here, I had a little accident, and I have some throbbing pain right now. As y'all can see, it looks kind of bad.
It's raw.
I took off my Band-Aid, and this is what was under it. It's still hurting. So I am trying CBD Oil Live from the Auspicious Wellness product line, ladies and gentlemen. Hit me up on my Facebook page, or hit me up in my email, CliffyCliff1@yahoo.com, if you have any questions or comments, or you can call in at 317-802-7137 right now.
Okay, so now here we go. We have the full spectrum CBD oil in its natural form. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this is a more concentrated oil, but again, look at it. You can see right through it. You can see it's clear. So what we're going to do for him, this is a different method. We're going to take a little bit on our finger right here. We're going to get his finger, and we're going to actually rub this in on his finger. Because why? Did you know that CBD oil actually helps with the reproduction of the cells in the skin? It does do that. And so it helps with your skin. So we're going to put that on there, and we're just going to let it just rub in, and that's it. So say, for instance, somebody came and they were in a whole lot of pain. We would take the water soluble, we would put it on our hand, we put it in the palm of our hand, a couple of drops, rub it directly on the area that is hurting. And then from there, we would do one or two things. We would take this right here, this will help them with the pain. This is 500 milligrams. So we would take this and rub it on that after we put the oil in. Then we're going to treat the inflammation of the pain area. Say, for instance, that the person's like, I need to get out of pain right now. So then we'll give them this one, which is a higher concentrate, and it's going to numb the area immediately. So we'll use 3 processes for that, because you have some people with the pain they're going to live with for the rest of their life due to accidents or anything. They're not going to be out of that. So then we have the vape. This one right here, some people, this is what I really want to talk about. So we have the vape, and some vape, I've seen it, it's cloudy. You can't see through it. Our vape is crystal clear like water. It's crystal clear like water. And the good thing about this, a lot of people say, I'm going to go and get some tinctures, and I'm going to get a tincture. Tincture is for 1 or 2 uses. And then our bottle is for the refillables. And the refillables are going to, and this is the terpenes, the natural smell of whatever terpene that it is. And so you're able to have about 30 uses out of 1 bottle of vape. 30 uses out of 1 bottle, because it's by the tincture. You just fill up the tincture and drop it into the e-cigarette. We are going to be doing e-cigarettes as well. We also have a skincare line. We have everything from stem cell to collagen to retinol to the night cream, the daytime, the PM cream, the wrinkle cream, the eye care, under the eye, puffy bags, removing puffy eyes bags. We also have another one for black circles. We're also going to be doing the lavender baths, the pedicures, the pedi spas. We're doing that as well. And we also have the ones for the tattoo. And so because actual CBD oil helps you actually literally heal it takes away, it's the analgesic, it takes the pain away, it takes the inflammation away, because people that get tattoos, the skin is inflamed and it raises up. Well, I talked to a tattoo guy, and we actually have a tattoo cream, and that's for tattoos. We have to numb it right away. I told you about the numbing cream, and it can numb when you're in pain. But if you have an old tattoo, this will bring it back at a 40. It will show up and it will be more vibrant at 40% more. Also, we can cut the healing time down on tattoos by 40% with the tattoo cream as well. We also have another cream which is for people. We were talking about this product, and I was so happy about the product. We have another product, and this product is for people that have gone through chemotherapy or any kind of laser therapy, and the skin has been burned by like a chemical peel, or if it's been burned by chemotherapy. This, or like say if your skin is red because you had some kind of laser treated on your skin, you can put this on right away, and it will take the inflammation out. And so we actually have a radiation cream for people that have that have gone through radiation therapy for cancer. So it's so many things that we're really working on and bringing to market to be able to be seriously vibrant. We also have a pet care line, and for people that have problems with hair care or they're balding or something like that, we also have another product for hair care. It's a shampoo, it's a conditioner, a leave-in conditioner, and also for the scalp as well. So it helps with the cuticles in the scalp. It helps with that to recreate hair care. So that's part of our cancer system for women that have gone, and men that have gone through radiation treatment and they've lost their hair along with the skin. So we have different products for different things and packages, and we've got more coming out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Auspicious Wellness is doing amazing things in the CBD oil community. They are the first African American owned CBD oil distribution company in the state of Indiana. And you know how I do every edition on the Veterans Community Hour. I make sure that all of my guests leave their contact information, etc., etc. But first of all, I want to get to Mr. Kevin Arnold, who is a Army veteran, a disabled veteran, and he is also the treasurer of the NAB Vets organization. Shout out to NAB Vets, everybody.
NAB Vets.
The National Association of Black Veterans, Chapter 133, here in Indianapolis. Kevin, Thank you for your service, first of all.
My pleasure.
All right. Now, just tell us a little bit about your service, some of the places you served, what your job was in the military.
I started out as what they call a wire dog. 31 kilo. I don't think it's 31 kilo anymore. I think they combine all of them together. But I was communications.
Okay.
I was in communications. Made sure that the tactical operations centers, whenever we go to war or out in the field, I made sure their communication line was secure and stable.
All right. Now, of course, doing that kind of job, I'm sure you learned a lot about communications and connecting and wiring and stuff like that.
Right.
Talk to us a little bit about any transitional issues that you had to overcome, and was their job transferable to civilian life?
Well, actually, it was. But when I got out, I was before I got out of the military. What happened was I tore my quadricep muscle in half over in Nuremberg, Germany.
Okay.
And I was medically discharged.
Okay.
So, and what had happened was when I tore my quad in half, I was favoring my leg all the time. And when I came out, I was fine because I was pretty much still at a young age. But as I got older, the injury actually hurt in other different parts of my body. Well, what the doctor had actually said is that by limping on my leg all these years, not really knowing it, my A-frame was off.
Okay.
So I ended up with back injuries. My wife and I had been, looking for maybe, 5 years, baby? For a natural way of healing my pain relief. We came across CBD oil, and we had been with the Torrances for a minute now, doing business together. And so that issue started hurting me on my jobs, and I ended up being with the VA, working at the VA, and my doctor said, you know what, your deterioration of your leg and your back has gotten so bad that where they put me in for medical disability. But as we started using the CBD products, the real stuff, we just decided as a couple that we would get into, not only helping other people, but help our family as well, help us as well.
Right.
And the water soluble, and you've tried it yourself.
Yes.
You know that this is the real deal.
Yes, it works.
We don't play around with no nonsense stuff. That stuff coming from China and all of that, and some of the comments that you have actually gotten from people saying it didn't work for them. I'm thinking that they got a hold of some stuff overseas because they don't have the regulation that we do here in the United States. But they also don't have the product that we have here in the United States.
Right.
The auspicious wellness product.
So for veterans, we are veterans, and we all know the veterans serve hard, veterans serve honorably, veterans serve with integrity. But when we come home, sometimes we have situations, and you just described one of your situations with hurting your leg, and that's a lifelong recovery process. A lot of times veterans end up on a pill regime, with side effects and taking multiple pills. How would you guys personally rate CBD oil as a co-captain in a treatment plan?
A 12.
A 12.
From 1 to 10, it's a 12. if you buy the right stuff.
If you get the right stuff. And that's why I'm really excited about this show, because Auspicious Wellness Distribution, CBD oil distribution company, is about the right stuff. None of this junk out there, none of the stuff that says it's CBD oil but doesn't actually have any CBD oil in it. Auspicious Wellness is about the real thing, and it really works when you get the right product. Darlene, how would you rate CBD oil in a treatment plan?
You know, like they have a hotel, they cover rating 1 to 5. 5 stars, 2 thumbs up. Fantastic.
That's right. That is right.
That's my word. Fantastic.
That's why I said
and
a
it
12.
Works.
That's why I said a 12, because I absolutely have to have it. I'm at the point now where it's, you know, I need a higher grade, and a lot of veterans out there, they need a higher grade.
Yeah, well, talk to the veterans out there.
The veterans that are out there, there are a lot of them in pain.
Yes,
because of their jobs, just because of what they had to do.
Right.
You know, being in the Army, Marines, and Navy, and all that, unless you were sitting behind a desk, you had a lot of physicalities. Your body is at use at all times. Your body and your mind.
Right.
So there are some that are suffering from PTSD, some that are suffering from just chronic pain, right? You're going to need maybe a higher grade of CBD oil. And like Debbie said earlier, you know, from 250 on up to 5,000, you know. And this will help you, believe me, from experience, from my wife and myself. We use the product. We're not only sales reps, but we are a product of the product. So,
and I just want to let everybody know this product really does work. I've tried it myself. You just saw me do a live trial here of some of the really good stuff. So I'm waiting on that to kick in as far as getting my throbbing together. But I have tried some products from Kevin. He's the one that made me aware of the uses of CBD oil. So I tried some, and I'm like you guys, a 12, 2 thumbs up, 5 stars. It really worked on my pain. I was totally amazed, because I have heard of people getting junk CBD oil. So I was never really interested in trying it, because I thought that, just like the misconceptions we cleared up here, I thought that it was a get high thing, which I wasn't interested in. And then I heard it was junk. It doesn't work. So I was between, okay, I don't want to get high and I don't want to be junk. But this product here really works. Auspicious Wellness has the real thing. They are FDA approved and certified. So they are definitely going to be supplying the market with products that work. All right, now Kevin, anything else that you want to share with the veterans? Anything else you want to share to the veterans community?
What I
this product?
The thing is I already have, like, a few of my friends that I used to work out at VA with. They have contacted me, and they are already interested in our products right now, because they know that I'm the real deal. Whenever I talk about something, the people out of VA, they've already called me and asked me they need some of this stuff. A lot of them have back pain problems. A lot of them have leg problems. A lot of them have arm, shoulder problems.
Right.
And you got to understand that CBD is just not just for pain.
Right.
You know, the digestive tract.
Right.
The skin.
Right.
The CBD. I mean, not the CBD, but the cholesterol levels. The A1C. I mean, it helps your whole body.
Right. Right.
So even if you're not taking it for pain, you're taking it to just make yourself a better, healthy human being.
Right. Right, and that's a very good point because we all treasure our health. All right, now we are coming to a close on this edition of the Veterans Community Hour on Radio Indie, and I have some comments in the chat room that I would like for Debbie and Keith to address. We have a comment. How do you order these products?
Okay, now there's two ways to order. If you, as a result of this show, and you want to order products as a customer, you would contact Kevin and Darlene Arnold, and they're here sitting with us because they're agents of ours. And so their phone number to contact them directly is 833-287-7424. Their extension is 703. Okay, so any product that you want to know about, that you want to purchase, they have access to the whole entire line. So anything that you want.
Okay, the next comment is, do you have gummies and tanks for vaping?
Yes, we do. We have the vapes. We're actually having a manufacturer they're working with us directly right now on the vaping tanks, the e-cigarettes, because we're trying to, it's not just about picking up a cigarette or e-cigarette. There's certain kind of tanks that you have that you can use, and if they're not porcelain, they're not good for you, okay? Because you don't need to, your body needs to stay within the homeostasis system. So it's not just about selling something, it's about selling the best of what you can get your hands on to make sure people health comes first. Also, we do gummies. We do gummies all the way up to 1,800 milligrams. We do a 30 count and a 60 count. It's 900, and then also it's 1830. The 30-day supply is a 900 count. We also do the capsules for pain as well, and we also do the gummies as well. If you are trying to contact me, if you're trying to actually if you have a business and you're thinking about going into business, a CBD oil business, you want to contact me directly or my husband, is phone number for us, different extension, is 833-287-7424, extension 700.
Can you put that up in the chat, LaRon? Okay, and that was for the person that asked, how can you be a rep?
Right. How can you be a rep? Right. If you need to contact us, we have to vet you. My husband and myself, we vet you to make sure that you'll follow the guidelines of wellness, of what we're actually creating. We want to make sure that everything fits and is in line with our business plan, and that's very important to us. We want to make sure that we make it known to people that this is an industry in wellness, that we are trying to play our part and bring about wellness in it. That's really important. Also, in terms of being a rep with us, we do have our own technology portal for training and development. When stores come on board with us, they also get a video training for us for their staff, and they also get it for themselves and their customers. It's like having another person. It's all done through artificial intelligence, and it will explain everything to all the disease states I just spoke about. We actually have the artificial intelligence that speaks to your customers. On your behalf, you can if you have 4 tablets, slide 4 tablets to 4 customers, and you got 4 reps working alongside you besides for yourself. We've got some serious things that we've developed in this industry that nobody else has, that's going to set us apart from the rest in terms of educational purposes of CBD oil. We are determined to make sure that any of our oils, any of the things coming out through us, we make sure that there's education, training, and development all along the way. So, any other questions?
All right. Well, that was very thorough. We are wrapping up today's edition of the Veterans Community Hour. I want to thank Mr. Keith Torrance, Miss Debbie Torrance, Mr. Kevin Arnold, and Mrs. Darlene Arnold for coming to the Veterans Community Hour today and educating us on the CBD oil industry, the business, the way CBD oil can be used to help people with anxiety, depression, PTSD, and various pain issues. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, on this outstanding business venture, and I would love for you guys to come back and share some more about the uses of CBD oil in its various capacities, not only is it for pain and depression, but there's also cosmetic CBD oil that you're working on. There's also CBD oil that you're working with for pet care and things like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, look for the Torrances and the Arnolds back on this show again as we continue a series on the benefits and the truth about CBD oil. All right, I'm your host, CliffyCliff. This has been the Veterans Community Hour on Radio Indie. Check me out next week. Thanks a lot. Have a good weekend.